Alright, what's up guys? What's going on? So we're on week 2 of this pretty awesome food forest install in Fort Myers, and I just want to show you guys what's in the ground, what's growing on out here. So we've gotten a really good amount of this holding area, nursery, existing nursery that was already here when we got here in the ground. Everything that's missing is already in the backyard, and that whole section over there towards the back where my little cart is, it's all going to the front yard. So the whole entire front yard's laid out now. All the natives we needed for the backyard are laid out. The natives that are left kind of go in the front yard, and then we have some alanga, taro, ginger, galangal, turmeric type things kind of going in some of this dappled light area behind the house. So having some fun here on this one. We've moved a heck of a lot of materials, and I'm not even overplaying the fact that we used over 1 million pounds of fill, 20 yards of compost, 1,000 yards of mulch, so far 1,300 pounds of biochar, 100 pounds of fertilizer. So we used a lot of raw materials here, and that's definitely what kind of slowed us down a little bit. We're at day 7 on the site here today, and I'll kind of show you guys what's going down. We're doing just the basically finishing touches here in the backyard. They still have the main hardscape trail that needs to go in the backyard, but otherwise almost everything's done back here that we need to do on our end. So you're going to see some grass, going to see a little bit of a mess on that main path, but for the most part the whole backyard looks really good, definitely coming together. So I'm gonna turn you around. You guys tired of looking at me yet? Hold tight. So there is the big holding area. So we just walked into the backyard, and this is going to be like the access point for mulch companies to come down the road in the future. As you can see, there's a nice big access point to actually come into this area, and this opens right back up into that backyard. So let's walk around and check it out. There's Turk's cap hibiscus in this bed, coral honeysuckle, some goldenrod. I see mimosa, I see caliandras. This one had fruit trees of grumichama, grafted loquat, and a mango, some peaches, a star fruit, some citrus in that next bed with the pineapples, lots of tropical sage, lots of native fakahatchee grass, society garlic. This one has helianthus, the dune sunflower, and mealy grass. A couple of the caliandras. There's even I think there's a pomegranate hiding over there. A couple of mulberries, a fig. This one's really coming together, and you can see, we kind of look down around each one of these plants, you'll see the combination in soil profiles. And what we have going on there is, so when we originally did this job, everything was put on mounds, and it made a lot more sense for us to plant the main species fruit trees first, put the 3 gallons in, and then heavy mulch the entire site, and come back with that 4-inch material, that 1 gallon material. And we actually had to put a little bit of fill dirt under each one of those. So the white that you see is the fill dirt exposing itself from the bottom, and the black that you see is the top dress of compost. And not something that I commonly do would be putting compost at the top of the native plants, but because the plants are planted so high here, we really want to retain moisture, give a little bit of soil life, because the prior soil conditions here were rough, to say the least. So lots of things going on in the ground here. We found out after we started the site. We're kind of learning as we go. So I'm gonna show you guys around a little more. This whole center island has gaillardia flowers, native flowers coming up in the center of it. It's another large mango. This one's a lemon zest. This is definitely a favorite by many. Grafted loquat. There's a couple of pineapple guavas over here. Lychee. Lots of fakahatchee grass. More of that goldenrod. Society garlic. This is a cotton candy mango. Perennial peanut. Mimosa. Those are probably our 2 main nitrogen fixers. This is a large common area space that I had talked about, kind of pergola, gazebo. Got a coconut going in here. Sweet almond. Pakistani mulberry. Over here we have that beautiful erythrina, the coral bean, native nitrogen fixer. Hey, good morning, boys. What's growing on out here?
Morning, Hefe.
Hey, what are you doing? Ian, you packing plants in the ground?
Oh, you know it.
You getting after it? Can I get a what's growing on?
What's growing on?
Hey, they missed you, E. All right, let's check out this goldenrod. Whoa. Got some more coconuts over here. Wax myrtle. I see some goldenrod. Scorpion tail. It's a small mango that was moved. Here's a neat native that's going to be flowering here in the fall. Probably going to botch this one up, but I believe that's Liatris. I don't ever seem to pronounce that one properly. Lots of mimosa, mangoes. This is walking paths throughout this area. Lots of citrus in here. Banana circle. This very back corner bed has a large black sapote in the center of it. This has some flowers on it. I guess I could show that to you guys. Always exciting to see the flowers, right? Look at these little beauties. Pineapples, peanut. There's a jujube over there in the corner. There's another sugar apple past that jujube. And this is the corner bed. Lots of tropical sage in this bed. We've got some, I believe, black-eyed Susans coming up on the next one as a flower species. These are citrus, tropical sage over here on the right. Like I said, this main path that you guys see here is going to be rock, potentially even some type of hard base. We'll see lime rock, crushed concrete. He even mentioned possibly asphalt. Definitely would make it kind of hot out here, but act for a bit of a microclimate. Here's my favorite firebush. That's a Hemilia patens right there. Look at this. Fruit on the mulberries. Fruit on the peaches. Section, if you kind of look down here on the ground, you see that red line? That's marking our path. You see that red line? That's marking the other side of our path. So that's the path that's going all the way out to the front yard. Gonna tie right in here to the driveway. And obviously it goes to our giant horseshoe in the backyard. All right, I probably do not have a lot of stuff left to show you guys out here in the backyard. I mean, we're kind of, we're getting there towards the final touches. I expect to be out of the backyard today by about 10 o'clock, maybe come back in for an hour or two to make sure we didn't leave a mess on any of the paths, just kind of do a final touch up. We'll be doing some hand watering in there every day till we get out of here on Friday. So we're kind of, like I said, things are coming to an end. We're wrapping this one up. I've got a lot of big trips planned. I got other big projects to get to. Might be coming back here at the end of May to help with some trellises and raised beds. Not quite sure about that yet. If we do, I'll let you guys know. So this is the area behind the house. And this is where we're going to be adding the malongas, the taros, kind of behind the pool area over here. Turmeric in front of the abricola. We're going to be putting some gingers back here and some galangal. It's a 2.5 acre site. There's a lot of room out here, a lot of places to play. Alright, as you can see, more raised beds in the front yard. Got a bit of an island over here on the east side, and then we've got another 6 of these, I guess we'll say lump beds, mounds. What's ripening over here, dude?
How's it going?
Just like being in Costa Rica, right?
Yeah, these are the berm beds. They're like hugel beds without the hugel.
Hugel beds without the hugel, huh?
We put the wood on top. We don't want these to collapse under the trees.
Definitely quite pretty.
Nice little view driving out the driveway.
Yeah. What are you doing out here? You working or you just enjoying the sunrise?
I'm sweating it out in the morning.
I see that.
It's muggy. We had rain last night.
It is a little bit muggy. Much needed rain, huh?
Yeah, I'm not used to all these clay clumps. That's unusual for us.
Like I had mentioned earlier, we've had some interesting soil profiles, especially with the fill dirt that's been coming in. So, then never know what you're gonna get. That's all I've learned. What's up, guys? What's growing on? So, this house just got a 2.5 acre food forest. Are you guys ready for a little tour around the yard? As you can see, we're putting berms in the front yard. So, this was nothing but grass when I got here. I mean, it looks like a golf course. 2.5 acres of St. Augustine Floratam. Now we've got 1.5 acres of food forest. What do you know about that? Hold tight. You guys ready to see a front yard food forest? Come with me. All right, week 2, we are done almost, kind of doing those finishing touches, last minute graft checks, irrigation checks, mulching things in, making sure everything has proper amendments, and we're out of here. So when I got here 2 weeks ago, this was a grass, we'll call it wasteland because the amount of chemicals and water that gets wasted on grass. And now it's an ecological landscape, a food forest, a usable landscape, an IRA, a 401k, you know, a landscape like this pays you back for years and years and years to come. Y'all want to see the finishing touches? Hold tight. So as you can see, there's some pots to pick up out here. Like I said, some finishing touches. It's Friday morning. We're getting out of here in about 6 hours, and irrigation ran last night. All the trees are watered in. All the support plants are starting to look a little better. They're kind of breaking from that shock from that initial transplant. You know, the tropical sage is all starting to stand up now. Society garlic looks really good. Fruit trees look great. I'd say the thing that was showing the most stress was probably the gaillardias. They were definitely a little bit stressed out. Our mulch stockpile is still pretty big. The path still needs rock, so that's obviously something we didn't get to. They're bringing somebody else in for that. Someone probably a little bit more well-suited. It's not my strong point, but it's something that we are capable of. So I'm kind of walking out here into the center of the garden, and this is where the proposed cheeky hut or, you know, type of pergola, something kind of going in the center here. This pole is actually marking that center point. So if I was standing here dead center, right here on either side of these citrus rows with the tropical sage, that's actually going to end up having a large passion fruit tunnel kind of leading in here. That's going to be with big 6x6s and cattle panels coming over the top. Something really heavy duty and strong. So, you know, when you come up in here, you're walking through dripping passion fruit the whole way to the center area. And then there's walking paths around throughout. The whole outside path, that's on a 10-foot wide path. So you could drive his truck back here. You could drive a tractor back here. Access is not limited whatsoever. I mean, if they want to bring a mulch truck in down the road in the future, not a problem. He could even do a circle in the backyard. So there's a lot of room, a lot of access to get through back here. Yesterday, I'm noticing some things that we stuck in the ground were all the cassava and Mexican sunflower cuttings. So those are actually already starting to sprout. We cut those about a week ago, just stuck them in the ground. Let's look around a little bit more. So some things that we added yesterday that weren't here, that large pomegranate, a cherry of the Rio Grande over there, and I believe another Jaboticaba. pretty awesome site. I definitely couldn't have done this one on my own. It's all about having a team, guys that care about what they're doing, passionate about what they're doing. Another thanks to my man Matt with what's ripening. Couldn't have done the layout without him. He definitely made my life easy. Well, could have done it without him, but it would have taken a lot longer. That's obviously Matt's specialty, being an engineer and having that surveying background, so leave it to the master. We're in the very back of the property. This is a large lump bed. Has sugar apples, native elderberry, jujube, black sapote, japoticaba, more sugar apples, kind of going all the way along that whole back. So that was a proposed chicken area, or actually bamboo area. The chickens have been moved up in between the two houses now. There's a bee area on the original design over there in that area. And the rest is like grass paths around the outside. So this is the outer path. This will stay grass. The inner path is going to be some kind of hard base. Lots of citrus, not something that I typically plant, but something that was bought and that we planted. So, you know, something I'll point out. We learned the hard way on this one. It's not every single job I have mastered or figured out. You know, when I bid this, I'm not used to planting 25 gallon, 3 gallon, or 25 gallon, 30 gallon, 45 gallon trees. We plant everything small. So that was a bit of a shocker, moving bigger material, putting bigger trees in the ground for multiple reasons. More work planting them, more impact once they've been put in the ground. Obviously they're going to fruit quicker. So there's the goods and the bads there. Obviously if you had to buy the trees, it's going to cost you a lot more money. But obviously they're going to fruit a lot faster. So it was harder on us than anything. Ground conditions here, soil conditions, you know, I would say that the soil was beyond anything that I expected. Very hard, lots of rocks, not well draining, clay, you know, definitely a learning experience here. The client was very adamant about having these raised beds, and I was kind of against it because of obviously the labor. You know, I was thinking just put the trees on mounds, but after we started watering the site and we got the plants on the ground, I know why we put the mounds in. He knows the water problems this property has. It doesn't drain very well. So actually, you know, these large lump beds, mound beds, whatever you want to call them, do have some great purpose behind them. Just from running the irrigation, I noticed the paths actually start to hold water. So a lot of purpose there. It actually, you know, is doing something. So we're kind of coming up on that proposed trellis area. That's a stub up for one of my zones. That's going to have a couple of micro emitters to feed grapes and dragon fruit. This bed over here is just a large pineapple bed. We added a couple of papayas to it yesterday. And you can see over here on the fence, that's that giant granadilla passion fruit, then a regular passion fruit. Tomatoes taken down the fence. Here, I'll come back for a follow-up, show you what this thing kind of looks like in a few months once it starts filling in, once we start getting into rainy season. But for right now, I'm about wrapped up. I've got some, you know, raking of the paths and this and that to do, and we're out of here. Now, I'm stepping in between the two houses. I'm in between the garage and the house in a dappled light understory, and I'll show you all what we planted in this area. So coming up on the back of the house, Gumichama, we've noticed fruit pretty well in the dappled light. There's some lesser galangal in there. These are passion fruit vines actually planted right onto the oak tree. Passion fruit vine planted right onto the oak tree. Couple passion fruit vines on the oak. This is regular ginger around this tree. On this next tree, we've got shampoo ginger in the center, and then some regular ginger around the outside. Up by the back of the house here, we've got those spiraling gingers. Those make a really nice edible flower. And then a big bed of malanga and taro. Right up against the screen cage, that's native firebush. That's the ornamental, we'll say, landscape variety. So that's more of the dwarf. We hard pruned that back. It's more of a rejuvenational cutback, trying to get them to reshoot back out at a lower height. What happened was they were above the bar on the screen cage, and they were really leggy. Lots of sticks on the bottom. We're trying to promote growth to the bottom again. Over here we have a red japoticaba, more malanga, taro, different varieties. I mean, there's silver ones, black ones, blue ones. Right here on this one, this is galangal, and then in front of it, these little guys, this is katuk, delicious little perennial vegetable, looking good. And then something that you can't see is the 35 plants that just went in this bed. So we've got a couple different types of turmeric. They're still deciduous, dormant from the wintertime, so they haven't came back yet. We actually planted some over here on the side also, kind of going right up in front of this abricola. So lots of turmeric just went in. This was another holding area, not much left here. We have some Simpson stopper left to go in the ground and a couple of things, but for the most part, pretty much planted out. Got a couple of spots along the fence where we're gonna do some fill in. As you can see, I've already got the truck hooked up to the trailer. Like I mentioned, it's Friday. Getting ready to get the heck out of here. It's my son's birthday. Looking forward to seeing my wife. So getting back in town for me is something I look forward to. It keeps me driving hard here during the week. Let's check out this front yard. See what's growing on out here. So Matt is over here getting dusty. Starting to move some of that cheese mulch. You can see these are some existing mangoes that are here in the front yard. And something that I'll point out, you know, we are within 10 minutes of ECHO, ECHO, that's an acronym for Educational Concerns for Hunger Organization. And I know that they had a ton of freeze damage here this year during our cold events. And, you know, we're only 15 minutes from there and all the mangoes here look fine. Now we are just south of the Caloosahatchee, so we're on the other side of the river. So something that's, you know, obviously pointing out to me is there's a bit of microclimate here. Seeing how much cold damage was over at ECHO, seeing how many things are actually unaffected here. I mean, Dedrick, the homeowner, had a ton of stuff in pots, a ton of things in his nursery area. None of that stuff actually got affected, burnt. So, you know, we're in a bit of a warm spot. We're in Fort Myers. We're kind of on the northern side of Fort Myers, but we are in Fort Myers. So you guys ready to see that cheese? Let's see it. Not me cheesing, cheese like mulch. So this is the main entrance where you'd actually enter into the property. And, you know, here's another situation. This was all grass when we got here. You know, just like we see over here, nice pretty grass. Irrigated, probably sprayed with fertilizers. You know, now we've got 50 different fruit trees, everything from jackfruits, loquats, pears, star fruit, another loquat, canistel, mango, avocado, loquat, sapodilla, mango, avocado, sugar apple, peach, jackfruit, mango, avocado, mango, citrus, avocado. Another one of those, I believe, pears, a peach, some mangoes. That one mango got transplanted. We're gonna have to give that a hard prune, but we're getting there. I also see another, I think, pear. There's a fig over there in that bed, and then lots of native plants. A lot of the same stuff that we use in the backyard, we're using in the front yard. So as you can see, same thing as we did in the backyard. Lump beds out here in the front yard, but we filled all the paths in with that mulch. We went, you know, 1.5 feet, 2 feet thick. That's going to keep all the grass and weeds at bay in here. Then we have all the beds that are going to need to keep, obviously, fruit trees maintained and a little bit of pruning. So, you know, there's all types of nitrogen fixtures in here. Wax myrtle, sunshine mimosa, perennial peanut, lots of native stuff, firebush, scorpion tail, tropical sage. I don't think the society garlic is native, but the Dune sunflower is. Fakahatchee grass, coral tree, erythrina. Some of the non-natives would be sweet almond, society garlic, and we've got some native gaillardia. It's coming together. All right, that's it. Another yard transformed, another edible landscape, another person detached from the matrix. Got him out of that lawn matrix, you know what I mean? That is chemicals, those waters, that constant feed, that constant need. Now they've got a useful yard. I will say, I've mentioned in other videos, you know, literally, when we were unloading these plants out of the trailer the other day, some of this stuff had butterflies on it within hours. I call it nature delivered, like LoJack. Like these plants come out of the trailer, nature knows like that stuff just showed up. It knows it's already here. I mean, it's like we brought the butterflies with us or something. I don't know how it works out so quick like that, but like I said, we call it nature delivered. So another edible landscape, another useful landscape. We'll call it a permaculture design, we'll call it an ecological landscape, whatever you want, but it's a useful yard. Yep, you guys see all those pots? We planted all of those plants, so let's take a look at that so you guys have an idea. Not waste. Homeowner's gonna have his own nursery when we're done here. Woo! Look at all those pots. So that's a wrap. I'm out of here. I know it looks like a lot of brown right now, especially when you're up in the drone. It looks like there's no plants even whatsoever. But when I come back in a couple of months, I think you guys are really going to see the development of this project. So, you know, rainy season is probably about a month away, month and a half right now. As soon as we get into June, that's when things will really start pushing, flushing new growth out here, and you won't even be able to tell, you know, the difference between now and then. It'll look like a jungle. Okay, that's a wrap. So we're out of here. On to the next one. I'm actually, a little secret, going to be traveling back to Costa Rica again. Got that 2.0 trip coming to you guys very soon. Got a little property to look at there and a couple of other sites. So going to some sites I've been to, going to some sites I haven't been to. So I'm really excited to be taking you all back there again. And then when I get back, I'm on to another large food forest install in Central Florida. So one after another, after another, after another. I hope to actually take some serious time off this summer and do some traveling, go back to all the same sites I went to last year and just show you guys, you know, what they look like now, what they look like after the hurricane. Go catch, you know, Dr. Campbell, Chris, Truly Tropical, all my friends again. So doing it again. Another food forest install. This one is pretty killer. Definitely one that I'm going to have to put in the portfolio. And this was a pretty good sized project. I mean, you guys saw Jubilee. Yeah, that was a couple of acre install. This was a couple of acre install, and I would say that it was probably as complicated, if not more complicated than Jubilee, because of that design, because of that layout. You know, very intricate. You know, a lot of demarcation time, a lot of layout of the site. So let me show you guys back around. Hold tight. And as you can see, this is the path. This is going to be paved all the way connected to the driveway. And this section where it's pure mulch coming up to the raised beds will be a raised bed garden area. So this section right here from the path coming up to the lump beds that we have built for the fruit trees, this whole intersection will be raised beds. So probably a dozen 4x8 raised beds over here. Pretty awesome once it fills in. So walking down that far east fence line, we've got some coral honeysuckle that's going to be growing up on these cattle panels, or farm fence maybe we'll call it here. There's some elderberry in the back of this bed, sugar apples, peaches, prune back mango. I believe we have a peach over here, another peach over here, and down here on the corner we've got some more citrus. So lots of perennial peanut, tropical sage, longevity spinach, scorpion tail, lots of natives in here also. Nice sapodilla, nice mango. Oh, we got a loquat with some fruit on it. Pretty cool. They come with fruit, no extra charge there. That pear, and then there's that other grafted loquat. It's coming together. All right, another client detached from the matrix, from grass to food forest within 2 weeks. Watch out. So like, subscribe, share, don't forget, pound dirt.